Narcissists do things like institute rules for others that they themselves do not follow. And I'm talking about like in personal relationships. Within personal relationships with those kind of rules, narcissists typically get upset or offended if they are accused of breaking a rule that they don't believe that they're meant to follow. But they won't say anything about they don't think they were meant to follow that rule. What they will say is, you must be mistaken, I don't understand. Why would you say that? Now, specifically when this kind of thing happens, how this leads to gaslighting is calling someone out who is a narcissist for an unacceptable behavior that you caught them doing. And what will typically happen is the narcissist feigning innocence and ignorance. Well, what do you mean? I don't understand. What do you mean? Hey, but we were just talking about that thing. Let's go back to talking about that thing. Oh, well, you're still stuck on that? What do you mean? What do you mean? And the trap that leads to the gaslighting it's like this. The person who has caught the narcissist doing something and is attempting to hold them accountable will be, in most cases, convinced that what they need to argue is the proof of what they caught them doing. But for the narcissist, what they are debating is whether or not to admit that they did the thing that you caught them doing, which they are not going to do under any circumstance. This leads to gaslighting. You have one person becoming upset, having an argument with the person who then says, well, I don't know what you're talking about. What do you mean? I don't know what you're talking about. That didn't happen. You must be mistaken. Or even if it comes to something that's close to admitting, well, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't understand why you're so upset. Why are you taking such great offense at such a small thing? And the person trying to prove their point, to make their case, gets more and more whipped up and bent out of shape because this person continually pretends like they did nothing wrong, even though they were caught. And so it goes. I had the experience today of a narcissist who I had caught and didn't want to admit, didn't want to accept or acknowledge, kept pushing and prodding, trying to get me to goad me into a debate or an argument, and I knew from the outset that it was not a debate of trying to prove a thing. It would have been a person trying to prove a thing, feeling like they're debating against a person who is waiting for some type of argument for why they should admit that they did the thing. Knowing that that is all it could be and that it could be nothing else, my words every single time were, I've already talked to the boss about it, there's nothing to be said here. Because the only person who needs to have any case made to prove a thing was done is the person whose responsibility it is to take care of those things. And it's a matter of records, not of hearsay. It's a matter of records. The computer system has times. So that's how most gaslighting comes into play. It's not specifically that a person says you did the thing and the person says, oh, you're crazy. It doesn't start like that. It starts with, well, what do you mean by that? What do you mean I did a thing? What thing did you think I did? Oh, I didn't do that. Well, I caught you doing it. I've seen you do it. Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. And so what it is that the person is trying to prove a thing that the other individual has no interest in hearing the proof. They are not concerned with proof. Of course, they know they did it. What they're concerned with is avoiding fault, avoiding blame, avoiding responsibility. So, just a little info tidbit. Also a demonstration that I am, at this time, perfectly rational, and have been all day long. Though a little triggered earlier, certainly, have been rational all week long. See, if it was my delusions causing me to think that somebody had done something to transgress, you got to understand, delusion really only comes around during mania. And I've been quite depressed lately. Delusion does not come about in depression. Not that kind. Persecution, paranoia, any of that does not come from a place of depression.